I just got here and it's time to talk about Lord of Mysteries and killer clowns, shadow skeletons, and of course the pacing of the show. But before I start, remember to keep doing this, keep doing this. I thought about doing in the entire episode, but I would have lost my mind. But anyway, first let's talk a bit about the pacing and what came out after the first two episodes, and then we're gonna get into the content of episode 3 right here. Now, I know the guys behind the production, the stuff. I've read through some of the things there. Apparently, they really wanted to get to this clown fight, and that's why the pacing has been so rushed. And also, apparently, after this episode, from episode 4 and beyond, the pacing is gonna slow down a bit. Now, can sort of understand why they would have want to get the hook instantly to get you to this clown fight, but I don't really think it worked how they intended here, because while I get a lot of people like the action, getting into it, and we know the quality, the show, the animation looks amazing, I like that very much, so like I said in my previous video also, but I feel like a series like this would have been better served with a slow burn, like slowing down. Maybe we get to this clown fight in like episode 6, or maybe we keep it for the end of the season, 12 episodes or so. Getting with a series like this, mysteries, literally detective shows, secret organizations, we even have a secret order right now, all of the sequences, the powers, the characters, we even get more characters here. We still have a lot of questions about the Klein. I really like the connection with the clown being the same clown from the start there, but how Klein is instantly able to use his power so well. He's ingrained into the agency right now. Now we also have introduced artifacts. Leonard is also very suspicious. Like, we have a lot of moving pieces, like so many moving pieces in just 3 episodes. Now, I really hope after episode 4 and beyond, the pacing is gonna be much better. Now, I don't know how it was in the source material. I've seen that even the beginning of the source material, it's apparently a bit confused and the pacing is fast, but not as much as the donghua here, or anime, however you wanna call it there. But like what happened with Solo Leveling, what they should have done with that series, I also said it when it aired, they should have aired the first 2 episodes. That would have been perfect. Now, that suffered in reverse a bit, like the first episode was very, very connected to the second episode. If you had the first 2 at the start, would have been perfect. The beginning to head the hook into people. But here, while the action was great, I like the fight, even the last episodes, they're not just this one. This series is not really about the action for me, yet at least. How I went into this series, by the title, by the vibe, by everything I had with it, was like, hey, on something deep, mysterious, intriguing. It has this Sherlock Holmes vibe to it, the cultivation powers with the sequences, the mysteries, the secret and so on to discover. So many big questions, but it feels like we're just rushing straight through those to get to the action, and I feel it does a bit of a disservice to a series like this, at least from my point of view. Am I still enjoying it? Am I still having fun? Definitely, but I'm also confused and I have a ton of questions, and there's so many things to keep track of. I feel like this is gonna be better on a rewatch or when we get further ahead into the series, but I'm curious from both sides. What do you think as a donghua / anime only? How do you feel so far with the series that we're 3 episodes in? And also I'm very curious from the guys that have read the source material. How was it in the source material? Was it as fast-tracked as here? And how do you feel about the donghua so far? And please, don't go into spoilers, and I know if you have read the source material, you have a lot more context, more understanding, being further ahead, and you probably understood the donghua a lot better, but try to compare them a bit without the knowledge that you have from the source material. I'm actually curious. I would love to see more comments about this one here, and I still think it would have been better served if this was a slow burn of a series. It's definitely that type of series. But yeah, anyway, enough with that rambling. I'm still gonna watch the series. I'm still entertained. I'm still enjoying. I'm still intrigued here. So we'll see how it's gonna be moving forward. Let's get into episode 3. I probably yapped too much. Now, picks up, we have them interrogating this guy here about the Antigonus family book. Here is where we get introduced to this secret order being involved. Here they go around investigating more, trying to see everything they can find out to get to this book. It's very important. We still don't have answers about this book, what exactly it is, what exactly it does. Even after the end of this episode, Klein trying to use his seer powers. Apparently somebody is interfering with Klein's seer powers, so there's probably somebody else even behind the scenes. I don't think... I'm curious, was it the clown that was interfering with his power, or is it somebody else besides the clown? Because when they reveal here that the clown was also a former seer, maybe he's the one that was interfering with Klein's power, or maybe it's somebody else, maybe somebody in the Secret Order, or I wouldn't be surprised if there's another party being interested into this notebook here. That's why they're throwing so many things at us. I like how Dan gave Klein that topaz pendulum to help him with his powers, and apparently they're gonna use sealed artifacts, which they're very dangerous. Here we also get introduced to more characters, finally find out the name of the girl that invaded Klein's memories. Dali here, she's a spirit medium, sequence 7, so the lower you are on the sequence, the stronger you are. We knew that from the last episodes also, 9 being just the start there. But the artifact, I was really curious about this one. Apparently artifact 2-049, even Dan was apprehensive about it, saying it's too dangerous, and here is where they started doing the swing your arm to activate it, to show that you're not under control of this small doll clown thing that is able to take control of you and also turn you into a doll. So making your movement like this, showing that you're not under control, that you're not stiff here. And Klein has some flinches a bit. The clown thing goes after him at first. They don't know why. Maybe he was too close, maybe because he interacted with the notebook, because the artifact is also connected to the notebook, the family here. So a lot of moving pieces. Like, thankfully I take notes when I do my videos, because otherwise without notes it'd be a bit insane there. And the doll actually starts attacking him. He gets saved by Leonard, apparently a slap or something to feel takes you out of the control there, so that's why they kept doing that, to know who was under attack. And I kind of like that clown thing. Feels like a murder bot going around there. It looks cute, except when it shows its teeth here. But then having to go after this Bieber guy, him being the target here, also connected to Antigonus family, and him doing this ritual. He kind of absorbs the notebook, saying he wants to revive the bloodline, and how even at the end there, the professor knowing about the family, the knight, and so on. So there's something more happening with this family. The notebook, of course, we still don't have the answers. It's still at the start of the series. That's why even last video that I did on the series with the first 2 episodes, I gave it a lot of breathing room, not really criticizing, hey, what is that, how this is happening, and so on. Of course, I have questions. Also gotta understand, despite with the pacing being very rushed, it's still the beginning of a series, a mystery series. So I'm gonna leave it some rope, so to say, breathing room to find out, to see where it leads. Is it gonna crash and burn? I have no idea. We're gonna talk about that when we get at the end of the series here. But yeah, after this, that guy absorbing the notebook, he kind of transforms there. We're gonna get to him and revealing that the clown guy was there from the Secret Order. He wanted the notebook, but he was too late before it got absorbed, and he kind of interferes a bit with the artifact. Klein also being able to use divination to divine that the warheads where they were is gonna be dangerous. And this is what I mean, like, the pacing being so fast, we have Klein kind of feels like an expert in his power, at least at the level he is. He knows pretty much what he can do, how he can use them. Even last few episodes when he used the cane to track the kidnapped kid here, bit more build up to this level would have been definitely much more appreciated. And then Bieber, the guy that absorbed the notebook, being this giant blob monster, goes after the artifact, and then the fight ensues. The action was great. They all started attacking it, using everything they could to subdue it. It didn't work. It broke free, revealing that he's not a out of control beyonder. He's a dead soul. Now, what exactly does that mean? I have no idea. Did the notebook kill him? Was he dead before he absorbed the soul? Is it tied to reviving the family? So I honestly don't know what a dead soul means, but at least he's not a beyonder out of control. The notebook definitely made it worse here, and Dali having to use her powers to find its weakness, and then the notebook starts attacking them, like trying to protect this guy to keep them away from it, and that guy here. And Klein somehow is able to use this night slumber thing. I don't know how he used that. Again, another thing with his power, he feels very capable for just being introduced into this world with powers and everything and so on. Kind of a victim of the pacing being so fast. We didn't see him developing to this level here, and they get it. They start attacking it. They are Dali thanks to finding its weakness. It works. She gets wounded. A lot of them got wounded here. So this was a very fierce fight. It wasn't easy for them. But this is what I mean. You have two big fights in an episode. This should have been one episode fighting with the blob guy, and then the next episode should have been the second fight that we got in this episode, the clown fight here. And I feel like they crammed it here. Two big fights in just a single episode, like one after the other. It didn't feel as impactful, even though it was great. It looked awesome. I was intrigued. I was like, how did they do this and that here? But after they take care of the tentacle guy, we have the Klein over here, something, these voices. He finds the notebook, and then the clown shows up, like kind of the main boss so far of this arc a bit. And the reveal that he's the clown from the start that invited him with the circus here. I like that callback here, and he's able to use illusions in a way. He's very capable at fighting. He's also somehow able to read attacks, and when he gets hit, he's able to redirect the damage, like kind of transfer it when and I like that Klein plays gacha games and leaves it to the RNG gods. RNG is RNG. They saw they couldn't hit him if they intended so, since he was able to read attacks, and Klein's like, what if I just shoot randomly, leave it to RNG gods? And he's actually able to hit the clown, wounds him, but he's able to transfer the shot from his chest area to his arm to kind of diminish the effects of it, because it's easier to move and keep up with it if you're hit in your arm as opposed to your torso, so to say there. And I like Klein, like I said, random. That was an awesome thing here. And the clown also uses the artifact. They had the 2-049, the miniature clown thing, to kind of mess with the fight there, and releasing the artifact, kind of unleashing its territory, and kind of puts them under its control a bit there. But here is where things get more interesting. Klein wants to escape, but he's not able to. Nobody was able to help the other one by tapping them on the shoulders or doing something to them to snap them out of the artifact's control. And I caught that. I really caught that when Klein slowly was able to summon the fog to help him there. To barely he was able to summon it to go inside, use divination to see if it's safe to go outside again. And I feel like kind of the transfer going into the fog and coming out helped him, giving him that reaction to escape from the control. But while he was doing that, Leonard was also able to do something similar, because we see the glimpse there. He was also able to move. Now I don't know if he was not fully caught in the territory, but I'm kind of leaning he did something more, even after his reactions towards the end of the episode. We're gonna get into that. But here is Klein coming back out in the real world from under the fog. He's free, but he doesn't give away that he's free. And this is why I really think this should have been the next episode for the fight, or maybe towards the end there, amplifying more these emotions, the outplays and so on that has been happening here. And the clown proposing this deal. They really want this notebook, saying he's giving him his freedom, he's gonna release him from the control of the artifact, and also sweetening the deal with the sequence 8 for the seer. And he reveals he was also former seer there. He says it, but we can't hear it what he says that sequence 8 is. Find out later towards the end of the episode the sequence 8 is clown, so clown potion is gonna be the next one. I don't know how it works, so how you go from a seer to a clown, or does the clown potion again, massive questions with the power system. And this is where you see Leonard was also kind of free and kind of saw a bit of what was going on there. So Leonard is very curious and suspicious at the same time. But Klein doesn't take the deal, goes instantly on the attack, and he's able to pull the clown into the artifact's range, getting him under control. And like how he didn't hesitate, he instantly went for the kill there, shooting him multiple times, but the clown stands back up after that and keeps repeating the same name we have been hearing, Hornasis, 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 and then collapses here. So they won the fight, but really should have been 2 episodes. 2 main fights in 1 episode is just way too much in my opinion. Kind of diminishes both of them a bit. Imagine if this episode ended, then hey, after they barely won the fight against that blob monster, then we have the clown in the background making it move and wait for the next episode. It would have been a lot more exciting instead of just ham, let's go. But after the fights here, we have them, Leonard telling Klein he knows he's special, but he's also special referring to himself. I like how narcissist Klein. They're calling him out, not to his face, of course. That was a nice nod there. But back at headquarters, Klein is not gonna be able to see the notebook because the cathedral, the church, wants to investigate at first. We still don't know fully how that works, who's in charge, like so on. I have so many questions, so many organizations, so many characters, and the fight took a big toll on Dan. Like, he's sick, kind of has lapses in memories, a bit. All of them were affected. Dahlia is also in recovery, so this is what I mean. It took a toll on them. Some of them died there, I think, and here is where Klein reveals to Dan that he knows the sequence 8 of Seer being clown. And I like the small moment where Klein felt a bit guilty having taken a life, even though he was self-defense and a very justified kill there to go after that clown, and Dan helping him a bit to deal with that. Small moments like these, small character moments, are very important, and we needed a bit more for that to get more accustomed to the world, the characters, and that's what I mean there. But after that, we see it on the other side. Klein thought he was gonna be okay not answering questions, but they actually start asking some questions. How did you defeat this guy? He's sequence 7 and you're just sequence 9, a seer, not a combatant. Kind of plays it down, saying he got lucky, it worked out in the end, and even Leonard kind of covers a bit for him there. So I'm even more curious of Leonard after this one. But after this, Klein says the potion started digesting a bit more in him. We even see it there. So hey, the more you use your powers, maybe the better the potion acclimates to you, internalizing how they said it. So yeah, again, more questions about the power system, how it fully works here, and of course him having that fog thing, how he's able to do that, and so on, saved him a lot. And the other two that were in the fog there, how they're gonna be involved moving forward. And here, after that, Klein going to investigate this Hornasis at his old Professor Alzik, and this guy was suspicious from the start. We didn't need the reveal after Klein left, him having these shadows and that giant skeleton in his shadow, and kind of that threat slash warning he kind of gave to Klein. Hey, history is nice to look into, but be careful what you look into. We even saw it episodes before, same warning again. But that guy was suspicious even before the reveal of the shadows. Just the way he was talking, just the way he was carrying himself. Now, I don't know, maybe he's not revealing information to Klein to protect him, maybe doesn't want to get him involved into this world, or maybe he's part of organization or so on, part of the bad guys. I have no idea, but he's definitely suspicious, and he got even more suspicious after he somehow has a giant skeleton in his shadow. But yeah, interesting episode, but again, the pacing is breakneck speed here, and I really hope it's true they're gonna slow down after this episode from episode 4 and moving forward. This series is, I like the world, I like the characters, I like the mysteries, the vibe, the atmosphere, the animation, everything looks great here. But yeah, I'm really curious, like I said at the start of the video. Let me know in the comments below what do you think of the series so far, from both sides, Dongo only and source material reader. And again, don't go into spoilers, please. Just correct me if I got some things wrong from that has been revealed in Dongo, or maybe some things they skipped, of course, but don't go ahead into things and spoilers there. So yeah, I'm gonna keep watching. I'm having fun with the series despite with the pacing, and remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Lord of Mysteries. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.